Hi Cancer! Welcome to I'm calling it a Valentine's Day reading, but it's actually a love reading for March 2020. I mean, just for the near future. And it's funny because I'm using the Ethereal Visions tarot deck, and my backdrop, it's kind of like matching that orchid type of color. And or actually, this is orchid and this is more, I don't know what you'd call that, lilac? I don't know. But anyway, I was counting the cards because I wanted to make sure they were all present, and I counted 80, and there were only 78 in the tarot. And then I looked at the box, and they do include a couple of other, I guess they made up their own cards. And I'm hoping if I get those cards, I don't know where the booklet is, so oh well, I might have to just wing it, if you will. This is for people who are, I was going to just do for people who are single, but I think I'm going to do for both, what the heck. Because it's a message of love in any case. Oh, these cards are so beautiful. I think they work perfectly with love readings because of the romantic kind of a vibe to them. I already shuffled the cards and all that, so that's no problem, just picking off the top here. Okay. The heart of the matter is the Magician card, and wow, I love this card whenever it comes up, but in a love reading, that is magnificent. If you're a single Cancer individual, you have a lot of love to give somebody. You really do. And your love, I know this may not sound romantic in the least, it's like that of a mother. Is like really caring, wanting to feed somebody, wanting to provide them with, I was going to say clean laundry, But I mean, seriously, take care of somebody, nurture them, in other words. And that's perfectly fine if there's a symbiotic, if there's like a mutual relationship between the two people. Where each one gives the other what they're looking for. And so waiting for such a relationship is so worth it. The Magician is about co-creating with the universe to find that person if you're single. Understanding that you do have the ability to attract love into your life by the choices you make, by where you are seeking love, by, who you bestow your affections on, and the kind of attitude that you have, where it is a feeling of comfort, that you're coming from a place of comfort, not a place of desperation where your main thought is, I have to have somebody, but a place of like resting comfortably in your own skin, not needing somebody to define you, being happy in the meantime, that kind of thing, I think, and also being discerning and realizing who's good for you, who wouldn't be right for you, is very important. And even if you're currently in a relationship and you feel that sense of dissatisfaction, the understanding that you still have power, not to give up your power to anyone or anything. In the past position, we have the Three of Cups. And it's interesting because the Three of Cups can be a card of even like, I could see with Cancer, like if a woman is watching this, your girlfriends tend to be very important to you, your female companions. And what happens around the age of, by the age of 30, people start getting married, and it seems like you're the only one who isn't. And maybe it's you get to be 35 and it's still something that's eluded you. Understand that it's kind of one of those things. There's divine timing, but there's also your initiative, and that's the magician. There's a reason the magician card is numbered 1, because it starts with you. The Three of Cups can also indicate a period of time of really seeking comfort from friends, maybe even, so that's why I say being influenced by friends can sometimes happen, where a person is wanting something, but are they wanting it for the right reasons? Are they too influenced by their companions? If you're in a relationship, you may be with somebody who is a party animal, who is a womanizer, who, especially after they've been drinking, maybe normally they have they care about you and they're not a bad person, but their will gets weakened when they drink. And the bottom line is that you have to accept the truth of the situation. We have here is the higher message. 10 of Wands. The person is shouldering a great burden. But whose burden is that? Is this person's burden to carry? This, again, the classic codependent. The person who, in a relationship, assumes responsibility for another person. There's a difference between nurturing somebody and enabling them. And you have to learn that difference, Cancer, so that you don't attract people who are dependent, who are looking for somebody to take care of them, but they're not taking care of themselves, and they have no intention to. If you're single, that sense of, what they call in Law of Attraction, Esther Hicks calls, Abraham Hicks, going upstream. Believing that you have this burden, this challenge that you really don't, that you're putting on yourself. You're putting that on your back. But really, you have the ability to take out all those logs and tell the universe that you are receptive to whatever comes your way. And that means that you're not going to take on anybody else's responsibilities, their guilt, their shame, any of that. Maybe even parents, who knows? This could be something that you have internalized, but not to take anybody else's stuff as your own and carry it, like kind of almost like the Christ complex, the martyr. But saying, something, and especially if you're going to be in relationship to somebody, you're going to be with somebody who also takes the initiative to contact you. So you're not the one that's always calling. You're not the one who is so invested in the relationship, and the other person seems almost indifferent, like they're not really fully invested in it. That's not acceptable. You have the right to expect that somebody else is going to be into you as much as you're into them. What crosses you is the Ace of Swords. So you may not have grasped these truths yet. You may still be kind of mired in a bit of denial or confusion. There's a reason this deck is faithful to Rider-Waite, although I see here, I'm trying to remember because I have several decks that really depict a lot of the Rider-Waite images, and one of them has the sword coming through the water, I think with algae, hanging to it. And that really is that sense of, the murky depths of the swamp and things like that. Did you notice how these cards are gilded? That's one of the, I think these artistic renderings are from the Gilded Age, from like the 20s. I don't know if I'm correct about that. I think it's Art Nouveau. I can't remember the type of artistic design, but it's, the early part of the 1900s. And the Gilded, I think of the Gilded Age, And, to be honest with you, I don't even know why they call it the Gilded Age. Maybe I know the Roaring 20s were filled with a lot of excess. Just like I had an uncle, and he told me that he said the 20s were just like the 60s. And I was like blown away by that. I was like, wow, the same kind of things happening. Debauchery. The same debauchery. And it's funny, now we're in the new Roaring 20s, 2.0. So that sense of like being honest with yourself, but also being clear about the direction you're going in. It may be something that is hard for you because you're so caught up in the past. Cancer is connected to the past. So you have to be willing to make peace with the past and learn from it, but not to cling to it, whatever has been going on. And even if you're currently in a relationship, that's one of the reasons why people don't leave, because they say, but it was so good at one point. Why should I leave? It was so good. And it's like they're clinging to this mythical, well, it wasn't mythical. At one time, maybe it was like that, but something changed. What's coming in is represented by the Ten of Pentacles. This can be a Capricorn individual. I associate it with Capricorn. Earth signs, Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo, but Capricorn rules the 10th house. This could be the type of person that you are going to meet. If it's a timing card, there is going to be a Capricorn eclipse on July 5th, and that will trigger your 7th house of relationships because you're the opposite sign of Capricorn. So maybe it's something in that time frame of meeting somebody new, and it's an eclipse. So it's kind of like this overwhelming feeling like, wow, this person, excuse me, almost like the spiritual download. Wow, this person's really for me. And the outcome is the Three of Wands. This is expansion. And yes, the other decks, they have, mountains, or this is kind of like a cliff, an outlook. The idea of kind of stretching yourself in some way. Maybe you're meeting somebody who does that for you. And you've been, like, if you've been in this this little box, if you will. If you have been waiting for an inheritance, because the Ten of Pentacles can be like that, that can be your ticket to freedom. If you want to live on your own, that could be another interpretation as well. I hope that you enjoyed this, Cancer. I don't celebrate Valentine's Day, but it's a great time, besides the commercialism, to celebrate love. I mean, it's always a good time to celebrate love, let's face it. But in any case, if you'd like a personal love reading or any other type of reading, the link to my website is below. Take care. Bye.